Hello everybody, welcome to another Friday Facts, number 381, Space Platforms. Now we're getting some good stuff in this week's Friday Facts. Last one was kind of, it was alright. It's good to see that what they're working on and all that. But it wasn't really, wow, this is cool, alright? We're going to get a look into what these space platforms are going to be out. We're going to see kind of what we're going to get in the space age expansion here. So hello, several Friday Facts ago, we have shown you what a space platform can look like. Today, we would like to explain how they will work in a bit more detail. There we go. What are space platforms? Space platforms are little, or not, flying factories that act as the means of transportation between planets, both for items and players. Birth of a platform. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So you start by launching an item called Space Platform Starter Pack into space. The item is inserted into the rocket silo in a similar way to the satellite. So we see here they're launching the rocket, and we have a icon overlay on there, which is kind of interesting because usually you don't see anything on a rocket silo. K2SE, or well, space exploration, which is the inspiration for this, you do see what's inside the rocket, I think, but on a normal vanilla rocket, you're not going to see the satellite icon in there because that's what's going up. It's like, well, you know that there's a satellite in there. There's no reason for an overlay. So that is kind of interesting because what else could be put in this rocket? We'll see. This rocket is carrying a space platform starter pack, as you could tell from looking at the alt mode overlay. There you go. Space Platform Hub. The initial platform has only one structure, the Space Platform Hub. The hub is a one per platform central entity which stores items for both construction and logistics, has logistics requests, and a train-like schedule where planets act as stops. If the hub is destroyed, the entire platform is lost. Okay, well, it can be destroyed. And look at this. Oh my gosh. It's cool because it looks like all chunky. Like you're just kind of throwing, metal together and, gluing it, whatever. But apparently this is the logistics and all this other junk. We'll have to see if they explain it more. They got an antenna or a radar here and all that. So that looks pretty cool. Pretty thick too. Look at that. Space Platform Hub. The centerpiece of every space platform. Okay, so centerpiece. Many of you could tell earlier that the graphics of the Space Platform Hub are a concept art placeholder, while the real version is being worked on. Okay, so this is just a placeholder from what they're saying here. It looks pretty cool, though. That looks really cool. All right, the inventory of the Space Platform Hub is limited, but so-called cargo bays can be constructed next to the hub to increase the capacity. I don't know why they say but so-called cargo bays. So it looks like they're, based on this animation here, they're placing these down. Now they're creating a platform, and it looks like it's a ghost image there, but it's popping up as a real thing. I don't know what that's about. Cannot be built on empty space. So apparently you can add more containers to this, or more storage to it, or whatever. That's pretty cool. I like the way it looks. I mean, they're probably going to work and make it cleaner, because it doesn't look like it's high res right now. The graphics aren't yet finished, but you can already see how the hub and cargo bays will visually attach. Jaroslaw's sanity is now somewhere deep in these pixels. If you find it, please send it back. So I guess he's a programmer. And in order to do what this is doing, he was like going nuts. So I guess that's pretty funny. Initially, we were trying a different system where the cargo bays would be separated entities, and you would have to shuffle things around. But it was just not. It was just a non-fun bookkeeping activity. So we went with one big central inventory. Okay, that makes sense. How do things get to space platforms? The next part was clear and unchanged from the beginning. Rockets are used to bring items to platforms. And this part is the main price of delivering items into space or other planets. Oh, okay. So yeah, we're looking at space exploration here, going up into space or to a planet. But the rest went through an evolution. Okay. The original plan was that it would be part of the logistics challenge to transport and insert all the required items directly into the rocket's silo. Everything in the silo would be available to the orbital logistics system, which pulls required items from available rocket silos. Huh. That's interesting. The problem was that the actual gameplay produced by this system proved to be incredibly annoying very quickly. The reason is that you need many different items in small quantities to build all the platform mini factory, and the only reasonable solution to do that was weird. Okay. You had to filter the inventory slots in the silo so each of the items would have a dedicated space, then bring every individual item into the silo. Yeah, it does get kind of crazy if you have to filter. Ugh. I don't know what these look like. Requesters. Oh, and then there's filter inserters. Yeah, that gets nuts. I mean, you could use constant combinators with arithmetics, and you can set up the set filters on these. I've done that a million times. Oh, look, they got a high quality. Look at that. It's a Primo substation there. It's got that icon for, I think, the Epic. Configuring this wasn't fun. On top of that, all the items had to be backed up in the silo and the chests. Backed up. Okay, I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe it had to be full or something. The rocket silo is directly connected to the logistic network and works as a requester chest. Okay, so you can wire up the space exploration silos. So you have a regular vanilla silo, which it just launches satellites. That's all it does. And it's for research. And it's a lighter version of a cargo rocket, which is the next wave of the next phase of space exploration. So there, I guess this one here, this vanilla rocket silo, is going to have a wire connection to it now. That's good. We needed a way out, so we added 3 semi-separated features to fix this pain. The rocket silo is directly connected to the logistic network and works as a requester chest. Okay, I read that. The rocket silo can be configured, a checkbox, to automatically request things needed by the platform above from the logistics local logistic network. Note that this is only activated when the items are already present in the network in the needed quantities. All right. When you're placing ghosts on the space platform, the space platform can set automatic requests, or can be set to automatically request these items from the surface of the local planet. With these 3 things combined, you can just build ghosts on the platform, and everything is done automatically, assuming you have the items already available in your logistic network, of course. The important part is that you can still ignore the logistic network and stockpile the silos manually, which can be very practical in special situations, or basically required in some of the yet undisclosed space age content. But it's an exception. Okay. So they're talking about where I probably would just fill a rocket up with one thing and send it. Asteroids as resource. In space, you encounter asteroids, which are both a resource and a hazard. They come in various sizes. Asteroid chunks are the teeniest and don't do any damage to the platform when they hit it. Chunks can also be caught in the mechanical tentacles of the asteroid collectors to be processed into items. So we saw this kind of in the first Friday Facts when they started doing these again. So they have these little arms that go out and grab it and bring it in, and you can see that the belt, is doing some stuff. So it looks like they got coal, iron plate on the belt there, or some other kind of material there. There are 3 general asteroid types: metallic asteroids, carbonic asteroids, and oxide asteroids. Oh, wow. Metallic asteroids for the iron ore used to produce gun turret ammo and thruster oxidizer. Oh, wow. Okay, the metallic is used for something. Carbonic. For carbonic, which is a new resource used on the platform to produce thruster fuel. And oxide asteroids. for ice, which is melted into water, then used to produce thruster fuel and oxidizer. Okay. A new machine called a crusher is used to process the asteroids. Later on, more resource types can be obtained from asteroids using advanced crushing recipes. There you go. So we're getting a first look at the... Oh, yeah. So these look like... I don't know what that looks like. These are like little chunks. There might be placeholder graphics, or they're working on, you know, refining them. These are the crushers here. So look, we're getting iron ore here. Looks like a carbon, and that's ice. Okay, this is ice. That looks like a carbon material, and that's iron. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so it can happen that the platform collects too many asteroids, or some recipe byproducts just accumulate too much. Here's one simple feature that we love. You can dump items overboard with inserters. That is so cool. Look at this. Look at that. They float away. That is cool. Oh, so you see they're trying to keep all the inserters working by looping the belt there. Kind of cool. All right. In the past, we have had multiple versions of ways how to trash items from platforms, including having a special storage entity which was able to do that. It all got so complicated that in the end we just went with this super simple solution, so just chucking it off and having it disappear. That's interesting. Okay. Space science in space! Yes! What if we produce space science packs on the space platform instead of by just sending satellites into space? Sounds cool on first sight, because it fleshes out the space science pack and is something more than just the imaginary satellites sent us research data from space. But there are even better reasons for it. Oh, no way. Okay. In our initial version of space platforms, you would unlock all their components immediately after the rocket silo. With that, you could go explore planets. This sounds great until you realize that the player isn't quite getting anything useful out of any of this until they have successfully brought science packs back from another planet. This means you had to make the rocket silo and mini rockets, build the space platform, travel to the other planet, solve the challenges of the planet, automate science packs and rocket production there. That's quite a lot. That is quite a lot of a big steps. That is quite a lot of a big steps. No, that's wrong. See, they're worded incorrectly here. To do it, and reminds us a similar pacing problem we already had in the past with the oil processing changes covered in Friday Facts 304 and 305. So what they're talking about here, if you're not familiar, is it was really tough for new players to do the oil. So what they did, because you had to do cracking from the heavy and light to gas, and then you get lube out of the heavy oil, and new players were like overwhelmed with it, and they just stopped playing, and they wouldn't get past that. So they added a refinery where it's crude oil in, gas out, and then that gets people familiar with the refining of crude oil. The only problem with that is one of the things I kind of didn't like is as a new player, you're not going to know the other inputs are going to be available, and it's going to be heavy and light. And you're like, oh, now you got to redo your whole oil build. So I don't know. I didn't really like that, but I think they still could work on that. So we tried to break this into smaller manageable subparts, which yield some usefulness / reward on their own. This is helpful by effectively having 2 tiers of space science packs. Satellites launched into space are still used to obtain the first science packs, but you only get 10 science packs for a satellite. You can spend these on a few technologies which will cost in the range of 10 to 30 space science packs each. Namely, this is where you can unlock Tier 2 modules. Oh, Kovrek's enrichment process, space platforms, asteroid collectors, and a new space science pack recipe. Oh, cool. So here under the chemical science, you know, with 1,000, you unlock the silo. And then space science pack, launch rocket with satellite, item satellite. I guess you unlock that. It's like a milestone. And then space platform is space science, 30 of them. So you might have to launch 3 rockets to get this unlocked, the space platform. And then you got to launch maybe 2 more rockets to get the asteroid collection. And then space science pack in space. is another 10, another rocket launch. So we're looking at 60. And then space platform thruster is 500 of red, green, blue, and the space science. So 500. I wonder if you're doing it in space at that time. The next step is to construct a basic platform capable of collecting and crushing asteroids. This platform can combine crushing asteroids with imported uranium from Novice to produce science packs in much higher quantities. With one rocket load of enriched uranium, you can produce 1,000 space science packs in space. Aha. So you're getting that 500 from there, which makes it 100 plus times more efficient than sending satellites into space. This is effectively splitting the space science technologies into two distinct tiers. Okay, so what are they doing here? This is the crushers with the recipes on. And then you got your space science here. It looks like they're taking the iron and it's going to the space science assembly machine. I don't know why they have a... Oh, they have a filter inserter here and here. So you're getting some back. You're inserting it and it's returning some. And then we have the ice and whatever that other product was. And that's going into the space science as well. So iron and ice, which is being crushed. I guess it's ice. And then whatever that other thing was. That's cool. And then it goes into this thing here. Why couldn't they just insert all of it into here then? If it's going in here, why is it, you know what I mean? So I guess they're trying to show that, oh yeah, this is a return and that's a return. Other than trying to keep this belt from being backed up, maybe that's why they did that. Whatever. Platform producing space science and putting it into the platform hub from where it will be sent to the surface. Okay. Past this point, technologies return back to costing hundreds/thousands of research points each. Normal infinite technologies become more affordable, so you can finally get more robot speed upgrades, weapon damage upgrades, or unlock the atomic bomb. This progression is also very useful, so the player first gets to grasp the basics of asteroid processing in a safe environment before they need to build a platform which dares to travel away from Novice. Okay. So they're saying the platform and what we're doing here for space science gets you, kind of dips your toe into the space travel and all that. Moving space platforms. Space platforms can either be stopped in orbit or moving between two orbits. For movement, the platform has some weight based on its size, number of tiles, which is attempted to be moved by the force of the thrusters. This means the bigger the platform, the more thrusters it needs to move fast. In order to move, the thruster needs to be supplied with fuel and oxidizer, which can be obtained from asteroid resources. Oh, cool. Okay. So here we have, I guess, this is water ice, because there's a water droplet and then it looks like an ice cube. We got some ammo here, feeding under, and it's shooting the asteroids just in case. Oh, look, this is an icon that is used in space exploration for rocket fuel. And then they got the oxidizer, and it looks like it's feeding into this to be burned. Okay, cool. Very cool. So that's your rocket engine there. And these rocket engines, oh my God, the flames are just amazing. I love it. Look at that. That is so cool. That's some cool graphics there. Our platform can now fly, but that isn't without risk. Okay. Asteroids is a threat. The platform must be equipped with defensive turrets because after departing from Novice orbit, larger asteroids appear. If unchecked, these can heavily damage and eventually completely destroy the platform. On destruction, the bigger asteroids split into multiple smaller ones, eventually turning them into harmless chunks. Okay. So that's a big asteroid right there, and it's shooting it, and it breaks apart. And then the grabbers grab them, I guess. Yeah, there they go. That's so cool. I love it. This is going to be fun. Building rules. Everything on space platforms is done via the remote view. No coincidence, it was the topic of the last Friday Facts. Some entities can't be constructed on platforms at all. For example, robots so the platform remains a belt logistic puzzle. Oh, cool. Chests to prevent excessive buffering. Vehicles include train and Spidertrons for various reasons. Burner entities for a bit of realism as there is no atmosphere in space. Okay. Well, that's going to be challenging then. No, so the player can't be up in space like we can in space exploration. It's just another surface that you're teleporting to. But in this case, I guess you can't do anything. You're just doing remote placements. And that's why I guess the rocket on the ground is a teleporter, basically, in this case, I think, from what I'm seeing here. Because look at how they're placing this stuff, see? And look, this right here, this flashing. Oh, there it goes now. So it looks like as they're placing it, the items are getting placed into the rocket silo, and so the bots are bringing them to the silo maybe, and it's flashing, meaning I don't have it yet, so I can't place it. All right, so space platforms cannot have holes and tiles, and their surface must be contiguous. If a tile that bridges two sections is destroyed, the section without connection to the hub is destroyed as well. Oh, wow. So if something gets chunked off, it's gone. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Power on the space platform. Power is automatically distributed by space platform tiles, so you don't need to build electric poles or substations on the platform, allowing for some even denser belt designs. Okay, that's cool. The platform gets power primarily from solar panels, but power is still rather limited on the platform, as every solar panel adds to the size of the platform, which increases its weight, slows it down. This means efficiency modules are now much more useful than before. Solar panel output is generally greater in space than on planets, but most planets are further away from the star than Novus, and eventually we get to travel to really distant places, where the solar panels are almost useless. This leaves room for nuclear power being completely viable to be used on space platforms, though it requires a significant amount of water/ice to be gathered from asteroids. Yeah, see. And that's the issue. Yeah, sometimes, like in space exploration, some planets don't have water at all, so you have to be creative on what power you're using. So there you go. And here is the ice crushing into water ice, and then you're feeding your reactor. So the reactor, oh, there's the fuel there. Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll have to see how this works. Oh, look, you set this up to grab ice. Oh, okay, cool. Quality implications. Quality of entities is extremely influential on the platform, since its effects basically multiply against each other. Higher quality chem plants produce fuel faster while consuming the same amount of power. Okay. Higher quality solar panels means you need to use less space, so the thrusters have an easier time moving the platform. Higher quality asteroid collectors have more arms for catching asteroid chunks. Higher quality furnaces and assembly machines can craft ammo faster. Higher quality gun turrets have increased range, so they get more time to shoot the asteroids before they would hit the platform. In general, higher quality entities have more health, so the platform can tank more hits if an asteroid slips through. Long story short, if you have a few higher quality items, it might make a lot of sense to use them on the platform. There you go. So I like this idea of the quality system with the platforms now. Look at this mess. Look at the turrets everywhere, asteroids flying around, arms grabbing, tightly packed. And then look at this, they all fire up. And check out this, oh my God. Look at this plume of smoke. That is amazing. This is what a platform with legendary components could look like. Holy cripes. Now, it looks like the legendary icons aren't showing. Maybe that's with the alt view that you only see it. Holy crap. That's a nightmare. And there's the central thing there, which, subject to change, right? All right, the process. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're getting close to being done here. Conclusion. All right, the platforms you can see here today achieve quite accurately what Kovrak's initial idea was. However, we have spent a lot of time finding the right path to get there. The rocket logistics and space platform mechanics were changed very significantly many times. We weren't afraid to rework systems related to the platform in order to make the experience of building them as good as we can imagine. Apart from the technical mechanics, we've created interesting recipes which don't get too complicated. At the start, we had a rough idea of what we want to achieve, somehow craft ammo and something for thrusters. And Arundel has laid out a creative set of recipes. Since then, I, V, have done a lot of balancing passes and tweaks, and we've got something quite solid now. There we go. As you're probably already used to by now, the graphics you can see in the post have taken a lot of effort to make. Though this, through this time, it exceeded the trend by quite a bit. And the space platform has been a real team effort more than anything before. Well, oh, before it. Okay. So I guess that's almost done. From the surface of the space platform tiles and decoratives done by Lucas, space platform transitions, thrusters, crushers, and the hub/cargo bays done by Jaroslaw, asteroid collectors and starfield shader done by Jersey, to the asteroids done by Fergal, with all concept art from Arundel and oversight from Albert with V, we can safely say close to everybody from the graphics department has been involved, and pretty much every one of these tasks has tested our sanity. Holy cow. Yeah, that's some crazy work. Conclusion. It is an undeniable fact that the factory must grow, always, but sometimes it just transcends to the point where it seems like nothing matters anymore and all the challenges have been trivialized. Survival, space constraints, items feeling like they have any value, and so on. With the rules of how space platforms are built, we can enjoy these feelings of puzzles to be solved for quite a bit further. While building a platform can be easy by sending more platform tiles into space and giving yourself more room to build, it's always motivating to try and keep the platform compact so it can fly as fast as possible. Space platforms can specialize in different tasks, so it can be motivating to optimize them for different design goals. You can aim to make huge platforms that can load thousands of items, or small platform with capacity sacrificed for speed. Would you like a minimal platform so you could get to that first planet as soon as possible? Or do you perhaps fancy a gigantic platform that can craft its own components mid-flight? There are quite a few more things to try, but more about that some other day. It's obvious to compare Space Age's space platforms to space exploration spaceships. While they're both chunks of metal traversing space, their gameplay is very different. Thanks to the asteroid processing, space platforms can operate completely independently without the need to refuel, and it can also automatically it also automatically means that they are little or gigantic space factories where space really matters. Due to modding API limitations, space exploration spaceships get rather complicated to automate with combinators and so on. In contrast, space platforms automatic scheduling is literally as simple as automating trains. So there you go. Yeah. And when you get to that point in space exploration, oh my god, you get it. Yeah. There's a saying, if you don't know combinators going into space exploration, you will coming out. All in all, creating your first automated space platform should be quite easy, but there's a lot of room for making something really big and complex too. As always, thank you for your reading, and let us know what you think in the usual platforms. I like how they're doing that now. The usual, like they're putting a little thing in there related to the post. Holy crap! Look at that. That's amazing. All right. So, yep. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as usual. And I'm glad we got a year to kind of take all this in. Because I'm playing K2SE right now, Factorio 2 with space exploration. So I'm getting a big, helpful serving of what they're doing here now. And I'm looking forward to a nice, simpler approach to space travel and interplanetary travel. So this is going to be a nice break from space exploration when it does come out, or a nice kind of transition to that, you know. So anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.